Good.
Okay. It is 6:07. Go ahead and call to order the special meeting of the Waldo 5J Board of Education on November 16th. Jessica, would you please roll?
Amanda Proctor.
Here.
Nate Fasano.
Here.
Jeremy Ott.
Here.
Michael Whale.
Here. We do need to of our agenda for this special meeting. I would entertain a motion on that.
Do we approve it as presented?
We have a motion by Reverend Scott, a second by Vice President Sassano to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. We have an agenda, to our one and only item, and that is after interviews for the vacant seat of Director A on the RA5J Board of Education. And I'll just go through, I'll do them in the order I have them in my folder. And so we'll start with Miss Monica Johnson, if you want to come into the hot seat. And we did your letter and your biographical statement. Do you just want to do a quick introduction of yourself and who and where you are in Unity?
Absolutely. I'm Monica Johnson. I lived in the community for coming up on 9 years, and I have been fortunate to work in the library both in Milliken and Johnstown, which has been valuable for me to get to so many of our community members, both really of all ages, students from the small stage up to many of the teachers also patronize the library. I also have 3 children. One graduated from Well 5 last year in 2021. I have a junior and a 6th grader. So I feel driven to be a part of the community because my children have a huge stake in education.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open up for questions from the board.
I think the best place to start is why do you want to be on Mary Lou Band here? What attracts you to being a member of the school?
No, I tune in a lot to all of the boards you've conducted via online that they're doing here, and I've always felt a drive to be have a deeper role with the school board, but to be honest, I was always intimidated with the campaigning process. The political side was turned off by the political side campaigning because it's just not my personality. So when this opportunity came up, versus an appointment versus a campaign, I thought this fits my personality. I went to campaign, I could still play an active role in the community and pass the political arena that goes with it. It was a good fit for me.
Hopefully the political stuff is down a little bit.
That would be good.
How do you think you could help the board be more effective?
I feel like I can be a voice of common sense. I have been blessed with common sense. And also I have a very sense of being fair across the boards. And I feel like in general, as a society, we really need to bring back confidence into our community and community meetings. And be afraid to say, let's look at the most logistical way to get where we need to be and use common sense to get there. So I think I have the ability to have common sense. I also appreciate being able to listen and see everyone's point of view is. I think that's a skill that is so able to listen to everyone's point of view before just inserting your own point of view, because everyone comes with such valuable insight and knowledge. So being able to listen and not be afraid to also share your opinion. So these are all valuable resources.
Thank you.
What do you intend your major contributions to be a board member to the school district?
I would probably say I could be very consistent with being reliable. I'm very reliable. I could be consistent with sharing insight, with trying to keep the insight of our community as a whole. We do have, I feel like we have a tight-knit community. Within that community, there are a lot of different value systems. So in order, you're there not purely for yourself, but to really represent your community and being able to be a part of the community on an every basis. You really get a feel for what is valuable for our community. So I think that an asset that I could bring is I get to be within our community in Milliken and Johnstown every day. I can see the values that are important in our community, and I would like to think I could help represent a lot of those through being a board member. Thank you.
So, as you know, obviously this is a short-term position. It won't be for just a little over a year. In that time, what type of legacy would you like to leave on the board and on the district?
Well, I think what part of what is driving me, obviously, is the choice of a superintendent is part of the reason we chose this community when we moved here is we absolutely fell head over heels in love with this community. We came from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we had the opportunity to anywhere in Weld County and in Boulder County. We quickly cut off Boulder County. It wasn't fit for our family. And as we looked in Weld County, we kept coming to this community because as we were looking for a place to build our family, we checked out the schools, we checked out churches, we checked out library, we checked out all the community places, and we asked people what makes this community great, and we loved the responses we got. So we came here, we felt how special it was, we felt privileged to be a part of that, and then we saw with the previous superintendent how much support one person can bring an upheaval to a community. And I had students in all three schools, elementary, middle, and high school at the time. It was really quite frank time of just being, my kids were afraid to go to school. They didn't know what they were going to get at school. There were students rioting and teachers were upset. And my husband and I talked about it, about how important one position in a small community can be. So as we choose a new superintendent, I thought, not that I could do a better job than anybody else, but I'm in a position where at least I could help to bring that sense of what we all love about Milliken Town community back, someone to represent values that we all hold dear. So that is what I like to contribute, is having someone that can make us feel safe and comfortable and validated, and let students and our teachers and all of our school community feel that way. Because that's why we came to this community, is because we felt, and I think everyone can agree, since Karen has been here, we have felt that sense of security again, and I'd love to continue that legacy.
Can you explain first in your what you understand the role of the school board to be, what it is that we do and what it is that we don't do?
That's a really good question. I know that your role as school board is to make the critical decisions within our school boundaries. A lot of our current decisions were being able to showcase to the community how valuable it would be in building new schools. Being able to have a place for our growth, which our community is growing. I felt like we were hidden little treasures, but the secret's out. Our community is going to continue to grow, and what a valuable resource is to educate community on what we're going to need to continue to keep up with the growth that the community grows. So I say that your role is decision making, not only for the present, but also for the future as our schools as we project growth and where that is going. As far as what don't do, I think you all, I don't really have a key understanding of, I know that once the superintendent is appointed, that a lot of those decisions fall on the superintendent. So once you have a superintendent in place, then that person who's appointed will take over the day-to-day overseeing of the school district. So it's really a really cool partnership that happens.
Can you talk the kind of relationships you want to build with your fellow board members?
Well, I'm looking, I know a lot of you just through being able to see you at work at the library. So I feel fortunate that that's the type of community we live in, where I get to see your faces a lot, and faces of your family. And I would love to develop a friendly working relationship. Those type of relationships I value in my life is, I always tell my husband, if I make a friend, I would like to make it for life, because I really value your personal communication skills and being able to work closely with colleagues. So that's the type of relationship that I would like to build, is just a professional, but also a very family-friendly, friendship-oriented relationship as well.
All right. How should the board go about finding out and knowing what the parent taxpayers in our district are thinking?
You know, you touched on a little bit with the meeting previous with Randy, and I've seen the groups that Karen brings in when she has their monthly meetings that takes in the library, and those I think have been invaluable. From the perspective that I see, I feel like you're doing as much as you possibly can. Social media is a huge outlet. Not everyone is on social media. Reaching out through newspaper is another outlet. I would say maybe it would reach a more older crowd, but there are still, Johnstone Breeze is still coming out. It's getting circulation throughout our community. I feel like you have tapped on all the abilities you can to reach out to the community through social media, emailing parents who have children within the community, newspaper articles. I feel like you're doing everything you possibly could to reach out to the community. I see it, and I hear what you're saying. I try to be active in that. I try to bring positivity. I know a lot of people that leave messages on social media may not take that positivity route, and that there's a good way and a bad way to make change in the community. And I would always suggest you can make a positive change without bringing negativity onto the table. And I see all of you doing that already, so I appreciate it as a parent with children in our school district.
Any other questions that are burning from you guys?
I think we said this when Amanda interviewed, you've answered a lot of the questions in your answers to other questions. So no, I don't think so. At least not for me.
Anything you want to add or that you wish we would have asked you?
You know, I don't really feel like it. I think that really did a thorough job of asking. Hopefully I did a thorough job answering.
Okay. Welcome, Monica.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I'm so sorry I have to leave early. I
We
apologize.
understand. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, next in my stack is Mr. Jeff Soderberg. Or is it Soderborg? Soderborg. Soderborg.
You know telemarketers call, don't you? They never get it right.
Yeah. Always get that one, Mr. Wayless.
Nope. No. He's not here right now.
Wrong number. Well, as we did before, you want to just give us a brief introduction about who you are and where you are in the community?
Sure. So I moved into the area in '96. Been here a long time. 5 children have become part of the district. 4 of them were here from kindergarten through graduation, and I've got a junior left here. So long time community member.
Irvin Scott, do you
All
want to
right.
kick
Very
us
good.
off?
All right, well, I start with the basic question. Why do you want to become a board member of the Well Valley Five District?
Well, I think it's good to get back to the community and to be put some skills to use. One of the things, so that's the main driver is to get back and be part of the community.
Along those same lines, how do you can help the board be more effective?
Just by listening, learning what the roles are, responsibilities, and then trying to execute them to the best of my ability and the tools and the talents that I have, the experience that I have, running my management experience and running a company and seeing how things run could be helpful, I think.
Thank you.
What would you intend your major contributions to be as a board member of the school district?
I think to do things better than where I started from, and to I think it's really important with the growth in the area that we make sure we take the prudent steps, and that there's time critical windows here with a lot of growth, and to make steps at the right time.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, as we said, this is a kind of a short-term posting. Not a lot of time to leave a legacy, but what is the legacy that you hope you would be able to leave on the district?
I don't have a particular thing that I would like to, I saw that there were an anti-bullying kind of thing coming out, and that's the one that's kind of concerned me. That there's been quite a bit of bullying and that kind of thing in the district over the years, and we could somehow get rid of that. That would make me happy. It's been a persistent problem over the years, unfortunately.
So what do you understand the role of the school boards to be in what it is that we do and what it is that we don't do?
I think my understanding is it's more setting policy and setting the guidelines for everybody else to work and to be a board for the community. They can have a voice and to be involved with the school district. And especially parents and kind of involvement with their schools and some kind of input.
So can you talk about the relationship you would hope to build with all of us, your board members?
Sure, I would hope that I could be a valued member of a team and to be useful as a sounding board or be able to get along well with others, but also have maybe a different perspective or see things from a different angle. Even if we're all kind of moving in the same direction, just trying to give another side to things can always be useful.
Thank you.
How should the board go about finding out and knowing what the parents and peers in our district are thinking?
That's a puzzler. I think that you guys have done a pretty good job to reach out. I think that's it depends on which kind of person you're trying to reach. There's various people that are more willing to respond to different things. And I think you have to do a little bit of everything to reach various different groups. You can't rely on one source, and try and get as many different ways that are productive.
Any other questions, you guys? Burning questions you may have? Anything else you want to add?
Anything right now.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
Ms. Spring, we'll have you next.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. I'm smooth and I'm persistent.
Take all the time you need.
And I don't know, Karen, if you were aware of this and Rhonda had talked about this at all, but Rhonda is Ed's daughter-in-law from Rotary.
Oh, hey, small world.
Yes.
I just have to say, I'm not in the Johnstown Rotary Club anymore, but my time there, and I've always known Ed. I mean, growing up here, I've always known him.
Well, that would be part of my bio. I am roots are deep here.
But getting to know him through Rotary is.
Yes, what a treat and what a trick he
what a
is
wonderful
to
man.
our club and to
He's an
community.
interesting man.
Mm.
Have him for a father.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and where you are in the community?
Well, I'm Rhonda Spring. I've lived here my entire life, so roots go very, very, very deep here. Family has lived here for 100 years, probably, and 62 of them I've already lived here. So I've gone to this district, my kids have gone here, most of my family has gone here, so there's a long history here. I can tell you what the old Johnstown High School looked like up in Charlotte.
Whoa.
I tell you the color of the velvet chairs in the auditorium. So that's how deep the roots run. I just feel that perspective is something that would be helpful.
So you kind of anticipated the first gen, which is why you want to be part of the Prairie 5Day School Board.
Well, I've ran a lot of my own companies for a number of years, a lot of business management experience. So I'm bringing a totally different perspective to the table. It's going to be more business oriented. It's going to be from a totally different age group experience level. And that's kind of what I would anticipate that I could bring to the table that isn't here already.
Along the same lines, I think you may have already answered this, Jen, but how do you think your board be more effective?
Well, management experience, and I have extreme financial background, which never hurts anybody. So I would like to be able to contribute that perspective.
What would intend your major contributions to the board member?
Basically those things, that perspective. I would really like to see a lot, well, I kind of mentioned in the previous meeting, how important just perception is. And how important it is to collaborate, get that correct perception out there.
All right, you have legacy. How do you want to continue and impart that legacy into the district?
Well, it's very important to me to see very successful transition transitions into the new schools. That's very important to me. A legacy of really bringing the community in. Because I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect there. We've got to do a better job. I'm not sure what those answers are just yet, but I feel like community needs to be more into what is going on with this district. And then, yes, that is selecting a new superintendent.
So what do you, how do you understand the role of the school board in that, in what we do and what maybe we don't do?
Well, I equate everything back to the corporate role, excuse me. And so that's kind of your board of directors. At that board of directors, your superintendent is CEO. And so that board of directors has to be that overarching role, if you will. They make the policies, they make sure that they keep everything legal, judicially correct, that sort of thing, and be sure that you are implementing the mission, if you will. Whatever your mission statement is for a business, that board has to be sure that the whole group underneath of it imparting that mission.
Can you describe the kind of relationships you want to build with all of us, board members?
Well, friendships, of course, and being able to respectfully discuss things regardless of whether you got difference of opinions, and talk about where you see holes or problems, and being able to get a very collaborative viewpoint on looking at pros, cons, benefits, and costs, all those kinds of things.
Thank you.
You had mentioned this in previous answer a little bit about being in the community. So how does the board go about finding out and knowing the parents and taxpayers and the community are thinking?
Well, a thing is being involved in your community. That's huge to me for anybody who wants to on the school board, wants to be in administration. You have to be very involved and be very visible. People need to know you're on the school board. They need to know that they can approach you at church, they can approach you in the grocery store, they can approach you.
Oh, they do.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. Any of our community kinds of that we have downtown, whatever. That's the way you get a good pulse on what's going on with everybody. You need to be full and present. Yes, they do. They are opinionated.
Always helpful.
Is that it, or do we ever go through
I
more?
think that was the one for everybody else.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Anything we should ask you?
I don't think so. I pretty much told you, I'm a long time old timer.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
And obviously, we're working for the year, but that doesn't preclude anybody from deciding this summer they want to run in the fall. And in fact, this doesn't even account against your limit, the appointment year. You still run 2 terms in a row.
Right.
So, just,
You only
if
choose
everybody
one.
knows that, but I figure it's worth saying out loud.
In
Because you
fact,
only get to choose one.
Yeah, only choose one.
yeah, in fact, the seat was open at the next election in November. That year term doesn't even count against term
Right,
limits.
because it's the end of Ms. Hall's term.
Right.
I think it's been 11 years.
Wow.
Wow.
You don't have to.
Just an option.
Wow.
Just an option.
That would be a long time. Okay.
Okay, well, it is